Well, we've got the body off, as you can see, and there's a little bit more than we anticipated. I haven't really had a good look round the body shell yet. I need to get the old body mounts off and see that all the rails that run under the doors, the body mount runners, are all in good order. But we'll do that in the not too distant, and we'll start giving the engine bay a clean down, ready for coats of paint in there. I'll order a new radiator support and we can change that at the same time. I think that's all we're going to really have in there. It looks like the rad may have had a bit of leaking in the not too distant past. It's a bit green in the bottom corners, and I wonder if it might be prudent to get that recored whilst we're at this stage. It's got to come out anyway, so it might not be a bad idea. We've got all hands to the pump on yours over here. I've got Ronnie in the process of taking the carburettor and the intake manifold off so that we can clean the engine down. Well, we'll get the distributor out and just plug the holes. We'll leave the intake on for the moment whilst we clean the engine down, and then we'll make inroads into getting that repainted. We'll do that in the proper blue. I'll send the valve covers away for blasting whilst we do that. We'll pull the oil pan off as well and change the gasket on there. That's all been done with a whole bunch of black mastic, which is all spilling out, so we'll change that for a one-piece silicone seal. We'll make a much nicer job. It's already had a recent fuel pump. There was a bit of play in the water pump bearings, as I recall. So I think, yeah, I can just feel a little bit there. So we'll stick a new water pump on at this stage too, just to be on the safe side. But everything else around there all looks okay. Just mucky really, but we'll make that nice and smart. And I've got the guys here stripping the chassis down. There's a few more bits in there than we thought once we've given everything a steam clean. I'll just show you that in a second. Can you just let this down, Darryl, please, and I'll show John his problem areas. So on the whole, you know, quite nice really. The chassis rails themselves are nice and not badly pitted by the looks of things. Little bit on the inside rail. If you look on that side, you can see a little bit of pitting there, but nothing of any real consequence. If I start at the front, we've got, this is the area here where it's kind of bent down a little bit, where the front sway bar mounts, and obviously we've got the two cracks on the underside of the shock tower, which I can the coil spring tower, which we can deal with a lot easier now, that's for sure. The problems are sort of moving towards the rear. We've got body mounts here which are pretty thin and manky, so we'll deal with those. The problems are though in these corners, and this was all hidden behind the fuel lines, but you can see where this gusset is, the chassis is completely rotted away here. So we'll have to deal with this section here and the same on the bottom of that, and replace the gusset. We'll also have to cut these reinforcements off to be able to get the strengthening plate in there, cut that off and deal with the rust behind that. We've got the same on the driver's side, you know, where it's all rotten out there and here, and that will that will show up a bit worse after the sandblasting. And we've got the same in here. You can see where it's spreading apart, and you've got a load of shale and muck in there which needs digging out. And the same on this side, of course, and we've got that both sides. Both rear body mounts have had work in the past. And I must admit, I've never ever seen one dealt with like that. It's just appalling, isn't it? So we'll cut this piece out completely and let in a new section with a proper size hole in the middle to deal with that. And we've got the same on the other side as well. So there you are. So we're now making big inroads into getting this stripped down. I hope to have this stripped down by the end of today, if not, you know, sort of midday tomorrow. So the next week we can burn out bushes and what have you, and send this all to be sandblasted towards the end of next week. I'm going to give them a call now and book our slot. So yeah, there we are. It's all happening with mucho haste. So there's a pile of your bits down here. This will all go to the sandblasters as well. Not the drive shaft, the U-joints in that will seem okay, I think. So we'll just clean that down by hand and paint it. But everything else there will get blasted. Yeah, and I'll keep you updated.